Hey, ladies and gentlemen, friends and frenemies. Welcome to the verified best show on the internet. Preston can't play. Sitting next... Oh, sorry, I'm hesitating so much. Sitting next to me on the couch, it is the closed caption hero, the Cowboy. 100 pounds of pure muscle. That was a question. That was a real question. Because I couldn't remember if the hero was the word that we decided to go with. It's Tom Mitchell.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say something.
Oh, yo, what's up?
Yeah, all right,
Cowboy.
Good. Hey, and I'm the human Adonis.
The human Adonis, whoa.
I like combine them to make them stronger. One unit. Like a transformer with multiple transformers. Like an Ultron. There you go. That's Preston Black.
His fucking name is Preston Black the whole time. Can you even believe it?
It was me the whole time.
It was like a drum roll that went on for like 8 minutes just now. Like, what's his name? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Sorry about that. I apologize.
You're the only one doing intros from now on.
That was very painful.
Until we both die.
I can't remember what I'm doing here.
At the same time.
I'm not gonna waste my time with this horse shit. We're done here. We're done. We're playing Final Fantasy X. Remember when that was a game that I was playing?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hey, what's up? It's Tom.
It's Tom. Bringing the energy back. Not the energy back. I'm introducing my energy to the space.
Yeah, please do.
I'm a very dominating amount of... That's a lot of clapping. I'm a very dominating amount of person, and I've come to accept that in my life. Hi, I'm here, and I'm watching Final Fantasy X. I too have played this game in the past. But it's my first time here on the show, on the couch. Wow, Preb, you played so much of this game by yourself.
I played a few hours.
A few hours. How many episodes are there of this? Sub 10?
Like 8, I think.
8, wow.
So we do it in 4s, so...
Note to self, you gotta have to make some more thumbnails for this one. So what's challenging for me?
No, I'm still sitting on a few.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it is 8, I mean, it might be... I have no idea.
If it's 8, then you've got
2 more.
One
more. Okay. There
so,
it is.
Yeah,
Now
when I'm late getting you these thumbnails, remember who to blame. Your own fucking whole entire self. Which is challenging, because I very much like the idea I had for this thumbnail, but I really don't think I executed it very well. And so I basically immediately started working on a better version of that thumbnail. But as you might have noticed, this game has been absent from the playlist for a while. And so because of that, I thought, okay, whatever, we're just going to get through Final Fantasy VII. I guess there was some talk of how many RPGs we're going to have running at one time.
This would have been on a while ago. But we decided that we shouldn't just have all of our games be Final Fantasy games.
No, I'm down for them to all be Final Fantasy games. That's where I landed.
Oh.
But I think because where that conversation was at the time, I wasn't sure if we'd be coming back to this for quite a while. So I ended up shelving the thumbnails I was working on. If you follow me on... Instagram, you've seen posts of both of the characters at like 90% finished. I literally think I have to do your head and then rig them both. Why I don't do that, I'll never know.
Probably because you didn't feel that it was necessary.
I suddenly didn't feel the pressure. Since then, at the time, it was around the time I made the Chrono Trigger thumbnail, which was also shortly before the Bayonetta thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I was really enjoying making full new models for both of us every single time, just because I liked the practice. But now, as the character models you've seen in our Smash Bros. Series, you're going to see a lot of those, because I've made a base model for Preston, I've made a base model for Ton. I don't think I've mentioned this on the show yet. So, big reveal here on the return of Final Fantasy X.
Whoa, heard it here first.
I'm going to be reusing those models. Right now, I'm working on thumbnails for a series you'll probably see, but right now has not aired, Donkey Kong Country. Wow. Throw us under the bus right there. And I'm using the same basic models, just giving them different props. It gives me the opportunity to practice other 3D modeling things that aren't just character after character after character. I'm hoping that... Right now I'm a little bit behind on the thumbnail needs, but I'm hoping it'll give me opportunities to spend a little bit more time on different aspects of the thumbnails. there's been some talk of me maybe taking the advantage of the opportunity to do some animations. We'll see what kind of actual spare time I have. But that's essentially my goal. And so because of that, while I do have these two models that I do like very much, at very near finished, I'm now not positive that I'd go back and finish them or if I'd just use these new character models I made.
Oh,
Mostly because I'm having such a hard time with your head.
I do have a weird head.
You have such a weird head. Well, it's more Waka's hair.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to model it between you and Waka, but I can't decide if it's going to be you with red hair, is it going to be Waka with brown hair? Is it just going to be your hair? Is it just going to be Waka's hair?
Questions.
It's challenging.
Questions for the ages.
So because of that, I don't really know what the future of that particular file is going to be.
Well, I think it's going to be awesome either way. I think everything you do is wonderful.
Aw, so sweet.
Who are you supposed?
So I've been playing. So since when I started playing this on the show, it was out of necessity, right? Because there were times when you were unavailable.
Yeah.
But he is
And
They don't got what it
that was the first time that I had like,
do now that I'm here.
I don't know. I keep saying that it's the first time that I really like gave this game a fair shot. But the more I play it, the more I remember like, oh, I've been to this, I've done this, I've done this.
Okay.
I think I'm
As if anyone lived in
I'm
those
getting out of
ruins.
myself. So since I started playing this on the show, and I've mentioned this before, I have started playing the remaster in my downtime.
Okay.
Recreationally.
There's a lot of weird mic stuff going on with me right now, sorry.
So that's right. So I'm when I was last playing this was my like most recent
Whatever your ladyship
experience
says.
playing with this. The first time right when it came out is when I played this. But now I've played way past this in my downtime. And I don't really remember what I'm supposed to be doing here. But it's interesting. This game does not look as good as the remaster. It's
As
fair
you
to
now
say.
remember it being.
Yeah. But my opinions on it have slightly changed. I think I'm warming up to it.
How come?
We've talked about this probably separately, but this was my first like real Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
I'd like played some Crystal Chronicles,
Love to go there.
and like I was aware of other games. I might have like played a little bit of one of the NES or Super Nintendo ones,
My
but
place.
didn't have a consistent way to play it. I was probably playing a ROM or something and lost interest. But this was the first one I spent more than like 5 hours playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of people throw around the idea that your favorite Final Fantasy game is the first one you played. And I think that held true for me for a very long time. I don't strictly think it's the case anymore, but I do think this one has my favorite combat system.
I like that like everyone has a particular thing that they do and that you can switch it. Like at first I was like, man, they just dump all these party members on you. Which like one of my favorite aspects of playing a JRPG is like accumulating your party members.
Yeah, that is a weak aspect of this.
Well, say something.
And then I thought like the way that you can switch out your party members in the middle of the battle is kind of like, it's almost like easy mode, right? Like I don't necessarily have to think ahead of time about
Just leaving him in
who I have and like what are their strengths and weaknesses and like where am I going. Like I can pretty much just like blow into any situation and just like on the fly,
And whose fault is
you know.
that?
But
Sort it out.
yeah, but the more I play,
It is mine, huh?
the more it starts to feel less like strategy and more like resource management.
It's just, yeah, a different strategy.
Yeah,
basically.
which I kind of like. And like, and it does get a little bit like monotonous, like when you're going through
All right.
like any given environment.
Oh, they're still calling you Sir Jack Son.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's all you
like
have to
they
say?
have like particular enemies that are meant to be approached by specific like means and specific characters. So it really just becomes like you spend like the first couple fights learning what different enemies in that area do,
Yeah.
and then
Why don't you tell him he should?
Should what?
become
and then it just
his
becomes like a
guardian.
rinse and repeat of
Why
like,
me?
I see that one. All
Because
right, I'm gonna bring Waka in. There's a flying
Why
enemy.
not?
Waka. All right, that
He's his
thing's
father.
clearly an
What he
elemental of
was,
some type. I'm gonna
what
bring
he
in
did.
Lulu.
Do you
I'm
really
like,
think she can
you know,
possibly
oh, I need
say
someone
to
with
him,
piercing, so I'm gonna bring
"I
in
want you to be
Oron
my
or Tamari.
guardian, like your father was to mine"?
So in that regard, it does kind of become a little bit like,
All right.
you know,
I'll try
Yeah.
talking to
a little
him.
bit
Be
monotonous. But
discreet.
I know.
I definitely
It's his
warmed up
decision.
to like that aspect of the. Am I supposed to? Yeah, I'm supposed to witness all this.
He doesn't like his father.
I don't know why I keep getting spat out of
That's
this.
kinda
Don't do that
stupid.
as much.
For sure.
Hating your own father, huh?
Like I have to do this, so
I don't
why they're
even
giving me the
remember my
option to
parents.
like duck out and go do
Can't
something
say
else?
how
I
I feel
don't.
about him.
I was 5 then.
And
so I remember mine
I kind
a
of,
little.
I mean, I've talked about my feelings on this game in the episodes, but now that you're here, I can
Seems
sort
this
of
takes
rehash.
everything away from us.
Yeah, please do.
I changed my mind about
Go to bed, bud.
the aspect of them just like dumping your party members on you.
Someone's bound to
And then you
recognize
pick up a
when they see
couple
your moves out there, huh?
afterwards, right? But this like main party just gets thrown into your lap. And at first that was something that really bugged me. But I started
Especially after the last game was 9, where you don't ever switch out your party.
right.
It always chooses your party for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I'm sorry, I
It's
just want to call
very-
attention to
it's
how
very
much of a change that
different.
was.
Yeah. And there's very slow like I mean, I guess there's like to a degree they like give you a few people right at once. But there's also a lot of other like secondary characters that you like get switched in and out, and then yeah, like the different story threads that you have to follow.
Yeah.
It's just more interesting in that regard.
It does feel like everyone has agency and is telling their own story.
Yeah.
Compared to this, where everyone's just following Titus.
Yeah, but I come around to this idea because I stopped thinking about it as, oh, I just like started this game and then they just dump a party in my lap, and I look at it as Titus is a member of the party.
Mm-hmm.
The party already exists, and they pick Titus up.
Yeah.
So I'm playing a party member, not the main character.
Oh,
Like the
interesting.
main character is Yuna. It's her adventure. And I'm just like, I just get picked up and I'm along for it.
Yeah.
I'm a supporting character. And like, your perspective is obviously following Titus, so like, it feels like it's his story, and in many ways it is. But the action is Yuna's story. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah, and that made me feel a little bit better about, because then I was like, oh, it's kind of like subversive almost, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like I'm like Barrett or something. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I I have to
Or
go to.
even thinking, I haven't finished 9, but that's kind of now that I think about it, 9 feels that way kind of a little bit, right? It's more Dagger's story than Zidane's.
Yeah, I know I have to go back down below, and I can't figure out how to do that. I guess I can look at the map.
Usually helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. How far are you along? I've been playing more Final Fantasy 9. Where are you at right now?
I haven't played since I moved.
Oh.
I got a little ways into the second disc. The clown man has been showing his face. I still don't know his name. I really need to pick that up. It's challenging. My roommate gets really weird.
The little clown guys that like.
No, he's got like dreads and white face and red hair.
Yeah. Amaranth.
Dude, bruh, spoilers. For real, I mean,
Oh, here it is.
I'm
It
not challenging
comes
you
right
to tell me how that game ends or like tell me narrative threads, but I just wanted to give you shit for that. Real quick.
Thanks.
I really want to pick it up. My roommate's weird about me playing video games in the living room. He's weird about me doing anything in the shared spaces.
Nice.
Which is really challenging. But because of that, I haven't plugged my PlayStation 1 in anywhere but sitting on a shelf in my room.
Well, that's frustrating. I'm sorry.
I've also just been very into Overwatch for the past
Of course.
year.
Yeah. That's right. I'm actually like right around that same spot. Like he just like got involved. That dude,
Okay.
Amaranth.
Yeah, I think it's like
I didn't realize you were so
just get to disc 3 or something.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were so far in.
Yeah. Is that far in? Okay.
Yeah,
I felt like it was pretty far in.
Third disc.
Okay. Sorry. I guess the guide I was following, I don't like following guides to like, I'm not a completionist at all, but I think particularly in JRPGs, it's helpful to have someone to refer to if you're like, where the fuck do I go? Or what elemental powers do I need?
Yeah. What am I?
And I think the guide I've been kind of following is more of a completionist, so he keeps talking about like, oh, you're just getting started, but he's also talking about wanting to go to like optional dungeons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't know where I'm supposed to... Oh, is that Walker just chilling there? No, Walker told me to go to bed.
We haven't met the Sand Pirate yet, right?
The what?
I forget her name. Riku?
No. No, she's a ways off. I mean, we've met her, but she's not in the party yet.
Gotcha. Learning their language was always the weirdest fucking concept
Yeah.
about this game. Because it just like occasionally gives you letters, but by the time you have enough letters to like remotely know what they're talking about, you're at the end of the game.
Well, they have a thing. I don't know if they have it in... I didn't notice it in this game. I only noticed it in the remaster, so I don't know if it's in the original game. But in like one of the first areas that you're in, there's like a machine that allows you to bring in all of the Albad primers from another save file.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a save file that's like towards the end of the game where you've picked up all of them, you can download them into your new game, and then you have it like at the beginning that you can...
Right. But that seems insane.
Right, it doesn't make any narrative sense. And it's like, oh, you can learn from another language or something. I mean, from another dimension. Or maybe they're just like, we're not going to pretend this is anything other than what it is.
I've just never thought of JRPGs as being games that I want to play time after time after time. There are exceptions to that rule, of course, but like...
Yeah.
I do believe
Compared to Resident Evil, where you can beat the game in, what, like 8 hours? Totally makes sense that on your second run through, you get a weird costume or you get extra challenges or whatever. But for Final Fantasy, where you're going to spend maybe 100 hours getting through this game, are you really going to finish that and be like, yeah, let's start over at level 1?
See, what I would do is...
Go to bed,
I'm
bud.
trying to fucking go to bed. I don't know where that is. I went in all of the rooms and talked to everyone underneath here.
Do you know about the green on your map?
Those are just doors.
I thought they were led you towards the ghoul.
No, there's a red arrow that like tells you like where you need to go, but I guess they figure this is very obvious, so they shouldn't need to. All right, this guy's having that issue.
You want to try and find your bed on the next thrilling installment
Yes, please.
of Preston Camp Preston?
Press.